Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Scripture Joe here, and welcome back to another episode of the tutorial series making you a new Roblox Scripture fledgling. Last episode we uncovered the veil over two important services, the tween service and run service. We discussed tweens, the tween info instance, and three useful events of the run service, the heartbeat, stepped, and render stepped events. In this episode we are going to talk about two relatively new value types, tables and dictionaries. Tables and dictionaries are both considered things similar to containers. In fact, both value types are created using curly brackets. Let's open our script and let's talk about them. So those curly brackets, which you can see over here, are considered dictionaries or tables depending on what you contain inside of them. Anything inside those curly brackets are considered inside the created table or dictionary. As we said, tables and dictionaries are like containers, and what they store are values. Let's delete our previous progress. Let's focus on this. The values that can be stored in tables and dictionaries may be important for developers to store and use to modify or change certain instances or aspects of the game they're making. For now, let's create a table, which we have done using those curly brackets. And let's store a couple of strings in this table. To create strings, we use quotation marks or apostrophe signs. Let's make those strings some common English names like Joe, John, and Henry. After every value we create in this table, we have to separate it using a comma. The comma indicates that we are creating and storing a new value in the next index of the table. Indices, or an index in singular form, are numbers that tell us the location of a value in a table. For the string Joe, we know that it is the first ordered value created in this table. Hence, its index would be 1. Currently, the table is not set to a variable, but we can do that, and it would help for future use. So let's create a variable using local. Let's name it my table, and let's set it to this created table. As I mentioned, Joe is represented as index number 1 in our created table. If we use the print function to show us the table by inputting the variable as an argument, which is my table, and play the game, if we open the output, we'll find that the table is printed out in the output. Let's increase the size. And this is our table, with Joe in the first index, John in the second index, and Henry in the third index. Let's stop the game. Let's say while coding, we just want to reference one value in this table. What one would do in that case is reference its index. We do this by typing in the table, or its reference variable, which is my table in this case, and adding square brackets, which look like this, and then typing in the index we want to reference. As Joe's index is 1, we would type in 1. Now, if we play the game, and we look at the output, we'll find that Joe is printed out in the output, since Joe is the first index of the table, my table, right? Let's stop the game, and let's say we type in another index number, and let's say that index number is 5. Now, if we look at the table, we'll find that there's only 3 index values in this table, which are Joe in the first index, John in the second index, and Henry in the third index. The 5th index doesn't contain anything. So if we play the game with this referenced, the output will print out nil, which is the Lua equivalent of nothing, since nothing is in the 5th index of the table we created. Let's stop the game, go to the script, and let's create a new variable, name it my dictionary, and set it using the equal sign to a dictionary, which is created using curly brackets. What is contained in dictionaries, different from tables, are key value pairs with both the key and value being capable of being any value type. You can consider keys as unique IDs used to identify their value pairs. Inside a dictionary, we set values to their keys using the equal sign similar to variables. To create a key value pair in a dictionary, we start by setting the key. Keys are usually set to strings. You do not need to add quotation marks or apostrophe signs if you are planning to make a string with no spaces between its words. For this dictionary, let's set a key to damage. Let's type in damage, and let's set this key's value pair using equals to, and let's make it 15. Now we have a key named damage set to the value of 15 in this dictionary. To add more key value pairs in this dictionary, we separate them by commas, similar to tables. So let's create another key, call it range, and set it to 200. Now we have a dictionary with multiple keys set to different values. To reference the keys in dictionaries, we do not use indices or the index value of the pair, unlike tables. Rather, it is similar to how you would reference the property of an instance or child using the period sign. For example, if we want to reference a certain value we assign to a key in this dictionary, we type in the dictionary variable, which is my dictionary, period, and then the name of the key of the value we want to reference. For example, let's say we want to reference the damage value, so we type in damage. And once you press that period, it shows you all the available keys in that dictionary. So let's type in damage. If you press enter, it fills it in for us. If we print this statement, so let's add the print function. Let's print this statement and then play the game. We will find that the damage value of 15 is printed out in the output. In the next episode, we will talk about remotes, and we will use them to create a day-night cycle. I hoped you enjoyed this learning experience, and if you want to continue, be sure to watch the next video. If you want to stop here, just save your progress by pressing File, Save to File, and then name the file whatever you want and save it wherever you wish. Be sure to support the channel by giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or inquiries, feel free to ask in the comments section.